A few years ago, we built these dragon fruit trellises with our very basic rudimentary carpentry skills. And last week, Mark asked if we would share the plans. So in this video, we're going to share those with you and give credit where credit is due. And we're going to talk a little bit about why dragon fruit need trellises and show you a few alternatives to what we've done here. Now, we built our trellis out of cedar. I believe we built this in 2021 or 2022. And so down in the very bottom is a base. Then we have this 4x4 cedar post, and we have 2x4 of cedar. And so you can see the configuration here. We turned this piece flat here so it can attach to the top of the post. And we built two of them. And with our rudimentary skills, I would say it took us a couple of hours to figure it out. And I'm not going to give you specific measurements for you. I'm going to show you what we did. And here's one of the reasons that you need to plan the size for yourself. Your container is probably going to be different than my container. And this container slopes in just a little bit. So I have to base my measurements on the bottom part of the container, not the top. So if you have a really wide sloping container you want to use, be sure you're measuring from the bottom, not the top. Now let's pop over to the computer and I'll show these specific drawings to you and a few more tips. Why do dragon fruit need a trellis? And it is because they are a climbing cacti. And my understanding is that in a natural environment where they're growing up a tree like this, they will actually grow up until they can reach the canopy and get out into the sun. And it's not until then that they break over. And according to my neighbor who grew up on a dragon fruit farm, maybe something like this, they will not set buds or fruit until they have this bending over effect, whether it's the stress of it or the stimuli or we've reached as far as we can to the sun. But until they're tipped over the top, you do not see buds on them. And I can attest that from my own fruit. I have never seen fruit like in this area here or any buds in this area here. It's always been over the top. And check this out. This is a very cool looking dragon fruit. That'd be kind of fun to grow back there in the future food forest. All right, so since we built two, I'm showing you what we purchased for two of them. We bought one 4x4, and these were all cedar, that was 10 feet long, and we cut it in half to two 5-foot sections. And then we bought four 2x4 by 10s. Now, for the top, we actually did make this 2 feet in each direction. And so that gives you an even use of one of the 10-foot pieces, 5 2-feet pieces. Then for the bottom, we did have some extra left over. And I talked about this, but it's very important. I don't want to give you a specific measurement here, but we basically made a 4-pronged base attached to the bottom of that 4x4. And it really matters because the width of it must fit in the bottom of your container. That is, if you're containerizing it. If you're putting it in the ground, then you might do this a little bit differently and it may not matter the distance there. And so in our case, I believe this was about 18 inches wide. But again, for you, take a look at your own. And so you end up with just a little bit of extra pieces, a remnant from it as it were, but not a whole lot based on the size containers that we used. And so this was really the most efficient way for us to do it in planting up two different ones. And I would be remiss not to say thank you to Kevin from Epic Gardening and Richard from Grafting Dragon Fruit, because we were watching their videos at the time that we learned how to put this together. And I'm telling you, we are not carpenter people. We know how to use a saw. We know how to use a tape measure. But if you don't know how to do those things, at your local hardware store, they may be able to make the cuts for you
you once you have your measurements. Then the other thing we did, and I didn't put on here, is we used outdoor decking screws. And so we attached all the pieces with outdoor decking screws. We pre-drilled, and then in the top, I think we have 4 here. We also pre-drilled here on the sides into the bases, and then it was also screwed from each side like this and in like that. So that is how we did it. Now, let's take a look at some other dragon fruit trellis ideas. Now, there are no shortage of inspiration, whether you're looking at Google or anywhere else, whether you're doing a long row, like this has bicycle tires up at the top, you know, these folks are using different PVC type frames. I like this one. This looks like actually maybe the Vigo garden bed, I think, has the dragon fruit trellis or something like this. These folks are using iron, and then I'm guessing they have weights on this so that it doesn't blow over since it's so small and lightweight. Again, more PVC, and these are like little bit of cages around there. It really just is about a way to support the dragon fruit, get it up so it can make that break and start giving you fruit. Same thing, using PVC in the bottom like this. More PVC there, and they're actually, looks like they're growing in mineral totes, or no, in water barrels that are halfway. I've even seen, like, I like this one. This looks very nice and neat and well put together early on. So that looks pretty cool. And then I've even seen like the bicycle tire. Here's a bigger picture of that one. And so if you have an old bicycle rim or some kind of a round wheel or something, even something like that would work. So if you're not super handy with cutting wood, but maybe you have some ideas. I mean, Mom literally made a T, and I wish I had a picture of that to show, but Mom just went straight up and made a T and let her dragon fruit fall over that, and she abuses them and gets dragon fruit all the time.
So if you have even the most basic of carpentry skills or a little bit of creativity, you can build your own dragon fruit trellis. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Well, maybe not quite that easy, but it's really not as hard as we thought it was going to be. So give it a shot. Let us know down in the comments if you have any other questions about this trellis. We would love to answer them for you as well. Until next time, my friends, remember to drink plenty of water, wear that high quality sunscreen, and as always, have a fantastic day.